And I think I'm live, but I'm not sure. I'm experimenting with this new technology, Restream Live Studio, and this is the third time that I've used it, and it's simultaneously meant to stream to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So it's fairly easy once I've set it up, but I'm waiting for some people to join, and I'm waiting for Marion, who's I've invited this afternoon to do a talk with you. So we seem to be held up with something going on, and hopefully she'll join me soon. So yeah, how are you? I haven't done a video for probably a couple of weeks because I was busy making a video about 2 weeks ago, and my phone died in the middle of doing that, so that was a little bit of a shocker. But I now have a new phone, so I'm getting all the technology sorted out. And yeah, it's a bit of a, we rely so much on technology all these days for all the Zoom calls and the connections, and it's complex and it's expensive. And yeah, it's a bit of a shock when suddenly it falls apart. So yes, I was in the middle of doing that, and then I went to Wales to do some work in North Wales, and now I'm back, and I'm really busy this week with therapy work. So for those of you that don't know, I do one-to-one trauma healing therapy here at Healing Water Sanctuary, and I also run trauma healing trainings. I have 2 trainings. So all of that takes a lot of focus and organisation. So I'm at the same time reaching out to you because I know that a huge amount of people are really distressed at this moment in time. So I wanted to give the opportunity if I could help in any way with the distress that's happening. I was just talking to somebody now who's in the NHS, who's a nurse in the NHS, and she's really distressed because she's just been told it's time for her shot, and that was going to be some of the content of this video today, to talk about that. And today I had a message on my iPhone: come in and have your shot. And I thought, how do they get my contact details? How come they can just assume that that's what I want to do? So I want to discuss, how's that for you? What's happening for you around that? Because it seems like for everybody at the moment this is going on. So just want to check that I am actually streaming live. So I don't see it happening. Ah, yes, I am streaming live, so that's good. So here I am. Ah, and here's somebody's calling me. Hi, Susanna.
Oh yeah, are you in the middle of something?
Yes, I'm doing a live stream video.
Oh, sorry.
You can join if you like. I might have sent you a message. It's on Facebook Live.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm just trying to call you about something else actually. So I will let you get on with that. And I've just written you a text already, so just to say where you are, where I am. So I'll get back to you later. Okay.
Okay. All right. Lots of love.
Sorry to interrupt you. Okay. Lots of love.
Bye.
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 So isn't it? It's interesting how, even though I think I've turned off the technology, people are getting through to me, which is wonderful. So please, Jack, hi. So, thank you. A supporter. Yeah, you can talk, Jack. How are you? Tell us how you're getting on. The show must go on, and I think it's good if we can communicate, and I'm just learning to do this. The more voices that can get out there, the better. And I know that Marion, who is joining me today, she studies with me, she runs her own trainings, and Find Your Why program. She's a a business mentor. She helps people get their voices out. So the more of us that can actually do that, we can start our own channels, we can share how we're feeling, we can communicate to others, because it's like we've all been shut down for a long time. We've been under a spell for a long time. So I hope somebody else will just message me. If you're watching, please message me. And Jack, how are you doing? So what's the impact on you at this point in time with this assumption that you're going to go along and have a lethal Thank you, Jack. Thanks for telling me that. It's funny because I'm used to doing videos on my own, and I thought that I was doing this with Marion, and suddenly when it's like she didn't turn up, and it's like, oh my God, I have to do this on my own, and I'm in a complete panic. So because we had discussed about what we were going to do, so it's different from my just starting and doing my own thing. So yeah, I'm glad I'm coming across loud and clear. So anyone else here that would like to join in? And in our previous one, here's Marion now, and she's phoning me. Hi, Marion. Hi. I sent you an invite, and I'm waiting for you to join me in the studio. I'm actually streaming live now if you'd like to join. It's a messenger. Facebook Messenger, yeah. Yay, fantastic. Call me again if you can't find it. So there you go, technology. Isn't it amazing? So, oh, you've been invited for the jab but declined. No argument, no hassle. That is fantastic. Yes, this is interesting because the nurse that I was just speaking to said most people don't even know that this is an mRNA injection. It's not a vaccine. It never was a vaccine. And here's Marion coming online. What do I have to do? Can you hear me, Marion? I just messaged her. The show will be on the road shortly. So I'm just trying to figure out how to message. Can you hear me? What do I have to do? Oh, you can't hear me. Marion. Oh my God, there you are. You've just popped up like a genie. Oh my God. You can't believe what a panic I was in. Like, where is she? Where is she? I can't do this on my own.
And I've been looking on all the other channels to see where's the message? Where's the message?
Okay, so for some reason I can't hear you very well. And so Jack, who's watching, Jack, can you hear Marion okay?
I will insert my microphone.
That's what's going on. So we'll come back to the topic under discussion in just a minute. So if you're watching, please start a watch party, invite your friends, because we've got some really important information to share, and we really want to help you loads today with ways to manage what's going on right now. So can you hear me now, Marion?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me, Juliet?
Hang on. Yay, that's it.
Good. So you can hear me. But we can't see you now. We can only see me. And I want to see your beautiful face too.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering now, because I've clicked these boxes. They don't seem to be doing anything. Sorry about
Jack
this.
Can hear me. No, it's okay. We don't need to apologise for playing around with technology and experimenting, because that's what we're doing. If we always apologise for experimenting, it takes the playfulness out of it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Marion, maybe you can help me. I've got these little boxes underneath.
So make sure it's got you and me, and there'll be something probably at the side. So I don't really know how
Yeah, I
Restream works.
can see you and me at the side, but and underneath of the boxes I can.
Underneath, you need to choose one that's got 2 screens on it.
Yeah, I have,
There
but
will be a display option, and you want the display option that has a double effect. Like
yeah,
2.
I know. I've clicked it, and it's not, and it's highlighted, but it's not doing anything.
Oh, I don't know. I can't help with any more than.
Yeah, overlay chat on stream.
So we're on Facebook, so that's good. Hello, Facebook world. And let me see what I can do here. Is there anything that I can do? I don't know, because it's your party. You've invited me to the party, you see.
Yeah, I can't understand why it's not doing what it did before.
I've got a parcel just arrived as well, so I'm going to have to go and speak to the postman. Oops.
Well, that will give everybody to make a cup of tea and to come and sit down with us. And share screen, come back, your entire screen.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I think what's happened is they've updated this since we last used it or something.
Oh, modern life. How is it?
Yeah. What's in your parcel?
Oh, my my comprehensive core concoction. It's a supplementation. You know, the beautiful drink that you introduced me to, the little shot.
Absolutely. And it's amazing for your body. So tell people, or is that an advert?
It's an advert, but we won't tell them what it's called. They can always contact us and ask for more information. So this is highly recommended by a friend who's a nurse, and she's massively interested in how we can use nutrition to support and heal, especially with autoimmune conditions or chronic conditions. Oh, hello, Juliet. I just see you pop back on.
Yeah, but can everybody see both of us now?
No, only see you.
Oh, how weird is that?
Modern life. It's amazing. And then now I'm back. Oh, you pressed something to get me back.
Okay, well, there's 2 little videos that I can see at the side. And if I click on one, it's you. And if I click on the other, it's me.
All right. So we know how to change it.
But that's not helpful. So so I think we have to entertain people independently, keep them on board whilst we're trying to figure this out.
Are you going to do a song for them?
No, but somebody could talk to us. That would be helpful.
Well, I'm going to carry on talking about this comprehensive core. So what this concoction contains, it's a baseline of all of the minerals and vitamins that you need to sustain cellular wellness. Oh, that was good, Juliet, what you did there. So keep going along that list of things that you've got. So you've given me space around me. So now hopefully we can get you to fit into the space.
No, it's me.
There's nothing on my screen that helps me to support you with this, unfortunately. So is there another option? So there's either me on the whole screen, me on part of the screen, and is there another option in that screen movement part? I wish I could see what you were doing. I could help. Yay! There you go.
What happened?
You did it.
We did it. Okay, let this be a lesson of hope and encouragement for all our friends out there.
This is about staying with it and persisting, because that's what you just did.
Never give up. That's my motto.
Yeah.
Never give up, whatever happens. It's just
exactly.
keep going, folks, keep going.
And you know what you want.
Yeah, we know what we want, and we want a beautiful
bingo.
So bingo. Can you see the comments as well?
Yeah,
Marion?
I can see the chat. Yes.
Can you make them come up, or is it only me that can make them come up?
Only you can make them come up. I don't have any control. There you go. So Jack's got bingo going on.
Okay.
And we've got a raffle this weekend. That's a nice little link. So I'll tell you about it. So we've got so the business that I work in is called Find Your Why, the Find Your Why Foundation. So this is about finding out what it is that you do want, which is lovely little link to what we were just doing. When you know what you want to persist. When you know what you want, persist with it, whatever the thing is that you do want. And so that's what Finding Your Why is all about. And we started the business 6 years ago. We wrote a book to start with. My business partner is called Cheryl Chapman. And we wrote a book and we started the business, and we had our very first event on International Women's Day, which is the 8th of March. And we didn't know it was International Women's Day. We just arranged for this day to do this event.
Wow, it's all about women. It's about women finding their purpose.
And this year, every year they have a theme. And this year the theme is called Choose to Challenge. And it's about challenging inequality and challenging what you know is not right. So it's about challenging what is not to be tolerated, given whatever your values are that you hold dear to you. And so we've got our 5th annual event, and we do an awards ceremony, because the Find Your Why Foundation is a community of women who know their why, they know their purpose, they know what they're passionate about. And we teach people how to use law of attraction to continue persistently with what you want so that you get more of it. And so with our first event being on International Women's Day, we've used that as our sort of annual anniversary, and we do an awards ceremony. And we normally have it face to face, but for obvious reasons this year, that's not been possible. So we've organised an online annual awards party, and it's on Sunday, and everyone can come. So if you're watching this now and you want to join us, I will put a link below. I'll try and do that while we're on air, actually, so that you can go and find out more about what we do. And we've got a raffle, which is what was the great thing from Jack. Thank you for mentioning bingo. So we've got a raffle, and what we're raffling, it's actually the value of all of the prizes is £10,000 when we've looked at all of the prizes that we're giving away. So it's really worth getting a raffle ticket, and the ticket proceeds goes to a charity called the Links Group. And the Links Group are training veterinary practice staff and social workers how to recognize the link between abuse. When people abuse animals, when animals have what's called non-accidental injuries, which is another word for abuse, then it's likely that other people living in the same household will also be being abused. So people who abuse animals abuse people as well. And they know this link.
Pass down the line.
Exactly. And they know that this link is really important. So what the charity does that we are fundraising for, the charity actually, they train veterinary staff, and they train social workers and social care people to recognize where there is animal abuse. What do you do? How do you support the abused and the abuser? And this is where we then step into the picture, the trauma work that we're doing together, Juliet, that you're helping to teach me about, which is actually looking at this from a trauma perspective, that the abuser is in need of support as well, because the abuser is recapitulating abuse that was perpetrated on them, usually. I think always, but I've never proven it. So understanding how this cycle of abuse is maintained, now I understand that so much more profoundly, because of the work that we've done together around understanding trauma, the recapitulation of the trauma patterns, and how abuse and trauma are just the same thing, really. You can't separate them.
No, we are in this collective trauma field. So it's interesting now, Marion, because we started the advanced training a year or so ago, taking trauma-informed awareness global, because at that time I was saying, it's not enough just for us to do our own little piece of work, but but we are in this global pattern of trauma. But it's not going to change until we change our institutions, till we change our awareness of what's going on, happening, and that we have trauma-informed people in every organisation. So we were working with that, and then this shit show hit us, which is the COVID hoax, fraud thing that's happening. With the fake things that were told are going to help us, but were not, that Jack has just had an invite, the lethal injections. And it really brings, this whole process that's happened over the course of the year has massively triggered every one of us on the planet into a rapid acceleration of consciousness. Like through really triggering us deeply in our most vulnerable places. And bringing to the surface our own deep trauma patterns. At the same time, there's this collective trauma pattern really accelerating.
It's bringing it to the surface, isn't it? It's like it's been buried deep. And it's interesting that we started talking about the comprehensive core being cellular nourishment and cellular maintenance. Because the trauma is the same, isn't it? It's at a cellular level. It's contained within the information within our actual cells. What is needing to be brought up to the surface as the being that we are, that we can see it on the surface, because then we can get the mind involved, and then we can start to use our brilliant human greatness and start at looking at resolution and healing.
Yeah, and we can then work with, there's some very, very good approaches to healing trauma. There's been such a huge amount of work in the last 20 years or so with Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, Dr. Peter Levine, Thomas Hugel, Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate. I mean, there's a huge amount, all the research is done that we can heal our trauma. But the problem is still that most of us don't know that we're traumatized. So how great that we have this shit show happening. That if we don't realize now, when will we ever realize?
Yes.
So that's happening, and a huge amount of pain. I have been through so much pain this year personally.
Yeah.
And I grew up think about myself as being, one of the better off ones that have the ability to understand some of the approaches to healing trauma and so on. But there are many people who are completely reeling at this point in time with what's going on. And if not reeling, then they're completely dissociating, disconnecting.
Yeah.
So I've been listening a lot to Sasha Stone, and he talks about trauma-based mind control.
Yeah.
So it's not just a matter of we are traumatized and it's coming to the surface. It's like, why are we traumatized? Why are we traumatized? What's been going on planet Earth for hundreds of years, causing so much suffering? And the thing is is this just accidental? Is this just accidental? This has been happening to humans, or has there been a deliberate intention? So I never personally believed in evil. I thought, oh well, it's just accidental. It's happening, and we can heal it. But what's really also become very clear at this moment in time, that it's not a lack of information that we're not doing what we need to do to heal. There is a deliberate and evil intention to harm us.
Yes. And
that is so massively clear at this point in time.
Yeah.
And
that's what's bringing up so many people's patterns and triggers, isn't it? Because I think you're quite normal in your old belief that there isn't something evil, malevolent force that's absolutely planning my demise, when actually it appears right now that that's exactly what's going on. And so that huge shift in your own psyche, in your own belief structures, it really, that impacts us completely, doesn't it? When some state of being and belief structure that we've completely inhabited for our whole life is taken, it's like the rug was pulled from underneath us. On who we are and how we are as a society.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to invite people to share how they're feeling at the moment in time, and any response.
So I just saw that there's some messages. Let me just see if I go to a different browser. So I can see that Lynn Linda's given you advice on sharing the screen options, so we've sorted that out. That's good, Linda. But Linda's saying, I received my invitation. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, we were talking about these invitations. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Come and have an invitation. It's like, come and have a lethal injection.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an example. That's an example of the evil that it's put across, is that this is something to help you.
Yeah.
But it's going to harm you in some way. That is really evil. Yes.
And my understanding of it's difficult to talk about because it is so insidious. It's so the whole medical paradigm that exists today was created as a control mechanism, and part of that mechanism has at its roots really clear satanic rituals. So it took me ages to get my head around this, and it's why I'm quite reticent to share it, because I know how disruptive and disturbing it was for me, and I don't want to push that disruption and disturbance on another. But if we don't see this for what it is, we'll never be able to stand in our power. And so I'm quite prepared to disrupt people, but I want to do it with heart. I want to do it from a loving place, but it's very, very disruptive. So even in like the birthing process, excuse my French, but who the fuck invited men into the birthing room? Like who, why, and how? Did any man ever believe that they knew about children being born? Like, where does that even come from? And then the process that happens during birth. I never had children because one of the reasons was because I heard the disempowering stories of my girlfriends in labor and in birth, and how they had absolutely no power. They had all of their power taken away from them by the people in the room, and they were told it was for their own good. So things like, the clamping and cutting of the cord immediately, they never let the baby touch the mother until it's been cleaned up. All of this is, if you look at satanic rituals and the rules and the guidelines, they're following them in the birthing room. They're following them in the birthing room. So the child is not allowed to touch anything that's connected to the earth. It has to be separated and use metal implements to do it, to sever the connection. And then especially in countries where they mandate that circumcision happens to little boys at birth, which I know is quite big in the States. I was very shocked when I realized this is a big process that happens in the States. Again, it's this mandated, gross, it's an abhorrent thing that they're doing to us as humans. And we are told, you just do as you're told, this is for your own good. And it's like the whole of the pharmaceutical paradigm and the whole of the medical paradigm is actually founded upon these disgusting principles. And yet we've been indoctrinated and programmed to perceive the authority as over us, as the power that we need to succumb to in order to prove how good we are. So teacher's pet kind of syndrome. In order to prove how great you are, you need to please somebody else and you need to do what they say. And how inhumane is that? That to me, that's taken the heart out of us as human beings. And it's taken me a while to get to this place where I can even voice coherently how I perceive what's going on. But what I also know is that we all have our own different ways of seeing it and perceiving it. And so I don't want to come across as really disruptive, because disruption is part of the traumatizing process, and I don't want to be traumatizing people. But actually, we're so deep in that trauma, sometimes we need a bit of a kick up the arse to realize there is another way. There is another way. And there are people who actually know how to access this other way. And I'm so fortunate and grateful that you're in my life, Juliet, because you to me are one of those people. And you've helped me become one of those people even more, to help people to say, so many people are coming to me and asking me questions for the last 12 months because they know I've always had an alternative opinion. I've never voiced precisely what the opinion is, but I will be clear that I don't agree or I don't believe in the mainstream way. And so then people can come to me and say, well, this is the mainstream thing, Marion, and I know you've got, what is your perspective? So people come to me curiously. Now I feel much more happy and prepared to share, because they've opened that window, if you like. They've opened the doorway to wanting access to the other way, the other alternatives, which, as I say, Juliet, I'm grateful for you, because you've helped me to really start to embody the principles that I knew needed to be embodied, but I didn't really know how. And my brain, that's logical and thinking and rational and reasonable, didn't know how to deal in these two worlds of the information. And you've helped me to understand that sometimes my brain wanting to understand is part of the problem.
Yeah, because we go through a split, a dissociation, and this is deliberate. So before I go into that a little bit more, I'm just concerned because I don't know how to see if anybody's asking us any questions, because are there any more people?
Yeah, I can see. I've got your stream up on one of my browser windows here. So Vicky Price has just sent us a question 4 minutes ago. So let me read that. So Vicky says, I'm struggling with the jab as I'm not going to have it, but my parents have had it and they lied to me. And now my best friend has, and I'm really concerned that not what lays ahead for them. And I'm really upset. Vicky, oh my goodness, my heart goes out to you. This is happening more and more. This last month has absolutely created this split, which is what you were just going to speak about, wasn't it, Juliet?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Vicky, it's really, really hard. I think every one of us has friends and family now that have had it. Yeah. And despite our best intention, and we've been screaming from the rooftops for months now, don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
But there has been a deliberate attempt through propaganda, trauma-based mind control, to take us into this place of dissociation and disconnection. And to normalize. Everybody thinks it's normal now that we should have how normal? Engage your thinking brain. Is it normal to accept a total stranger shooting highly toxic, brain-damaging substances and something that's going to alter your DNA? Is that normal, that you would allow that to happen to you?
So I think for the purposes of Vicky's statement here and what she's struggling with, what would you say Vicky could do? Because obviously we can't go and say, okay, Mum, you've just had some toxic thing, because that potentially could traumatize your mum even more, couldn't it? So where would you go with this?
Or traumatize Vicky even more, because
I know
it's relational. This is what's happening now. This is the other traumatization that's happening, is that we're being fragmented, one human from another, and that our closest relationships are now deliberately being damaged. They're deliberately being targeted and damaged. And it's almost impossible now to do anything about it in terms of changing. Vicky's mum is going to, Vicky, I'm so sorry that your mum, my mum also, I spent weeks sending information to my mother. And then she gleefully emailed me and said, oh, I've had the vaccine and you won't be able to travel because you haven't had it.
Yeah.
It's like, how screwed up can somebody's mind get? And this is all the condition because she's glued to the TV set day in, day out into the newspapers. And unfortunately, the first thing is, it's that thing about when you're on an aeroplane, what you always say about the oxygen, the mask dropping down. It's like we're trying to rescue all our family members and friends because they have been subjected to this trauma-based mind control. And luckily, for some reason, we've seen through it, or we've come through it, and we're staying present to the threat that's here. But we want to rescue them, and we can't. We absolutely can't do anything about it. So it's like, what do you need to do, Vicky, for your own sanity at this point in time?
I think what's really difficult, Juliet, is that these are sacred relationships, your parents, your siblings, sometimes your husband or your wife or your children. These are, from a physical body perspective, these are the cords that can't be cut, aren't they? You know, they say blood is thicker than water. So we've got this really deep situation that on this physical plane, in this physical form that we're in right now, this is huge devastation because of the split. And Jack, I just saw that you say about we respect each other's choices. Let's not have them divide us. The problem with that is, if you believe the vaccine story, the necessity of vaccine story, you see me as a threat because I refuse it. So it's not possible for them to respect my position because they perceive their survival is at threat because I refuse the vaccine. So I am endangering their life. So suddenly I am the survival threat to them. So this is not even about me being angry that somebody else has taken it. This is about the other person's impossibility of letting me have my choice. They see I am choosing to kill them. And that to me is where this is the piece where I have to go super spiritual. I have to go to a place where my thinking mind just goes, are you stupid, Marion? Because it really is beyond this 3D physical plane that I have to take my awareness to not be completely intoxicated with this drama energy of who's trying to kill who's trying to survive, who's trying to kill me, who's all of that really toxic combative energy is in the field, in this physical field. And so the programming, the deep programming actually stops the other allowing me my choice. So I don't mind if somebody wants to have the vaccine because they think and they believe it's right for them. I actually believe in the placebo effect enough to know that it may be okay. The placebo effect may help them be better on some level. So I have faith in that, but I don't know how to deal with being viewed as the survival threat because I am not taking the jab.
Yeah, we keep saying that word because we already by now may be banned, who knows? I mean, the very fact that we're being banned if we use that word highlights that there is a deliberate intention to shut us down and to normalize this viewpoint that's being rolled out by the
controllers, the mind controllers.
We can call them the cabal, the elite.
Well, I think the mind controllers is perfect because govern means control, ment is mind, controlling the mind. That's what government is. And the government is the bottom layer of puppets. The pyramid above the government, the unseen, this is the name, we can give them all these names. But actually, the mind controllers is exactly what their name is. It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So are there any more comments? Can we just,
So Jack, how do you sit with it, Jack? Because you were the say about, your comment. I love your comment and I absolutely agree with it. Can we not just respect each other's choices and let's not have this divide? Okay. But what do you say, Jack, in that vein, if you're speaking to somebody who is convinced by the story that the necessity of the jab is important? How would you approach that? Because that's where I'm seeking help as well. I think we all need support on how to deal with that.
We all need support at this moment of time, and this is to answer Vicky and Jack. This is part of the healing. It's like there's a deliberate intention to split us apart, to fragment us, and the healing is to keep our relationships. Human relationships are sacred. Mm-hmm. Human beings feel safe only in the company of another human being. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're designed, we're hardwired, we're tribal, we're herd animals, and our nervous system only feel calm when we're with another human being, unless we've been traumatized and made to feel unsafe with another human being. And this is the deliberate mind control that's happening. It's always since the beginning of time with these mind controllers and the elite above that to create a threat for humanity, that we have to fear another person for some other reason. So we had the 9/11, the Twin Towers coming down. So the threat of terrorism, the war on terrorism. But before that, how many wars have we had? Do we really believe that human beings want to kill each other? I don't believe that. No. I think we've been put into that situation. Hoodwinked into the situation that other people have murderous intents towards us and they're trying to kill us. So we take arms against them and we start to fight. But then when we get traumatized, it's after we're traumatized by this kind of behavior, this kind of mind control, that then we really do feel threatened by each other.
Yeah.
But we have to just come to this base understanding that another human being isn't a threat.
I've spent most of my adult life traveling, and I am a bit of an intrepid traveler. I love traveling alone, and I go to deep, dark places. I went to Timbuktu for the New Year's Eve of 1999-2000 on my own and spent 3 months traveling around West Africa. So I love traveling. And one of the things that traveling has given me is this strengthening of the knowledge that people are beautiful, that people are community beings, and they want to look after and support and include me always. Always. It doesn't matter if their skin color is different, if their gender is different, if their tribal beliefs are different. It doesn't matter what is different about them. They see another human being, and we are a beautiful, beautiful race. I always say I am very, very racist. I support the human race. And so it's about really, for me, that strengthening of knowing that we are the same. We are the same. The beauty in namaste means we are the same. It means the light in me sees the light in you. It's the same light. And that's the meaning behind the gesture and the language of namaste. And that has always been my experience. Whenever I have trouble, whenever I have conflict or combat, it's not because of who I am and in relationship to the other. It's because some belief or some authority or some civil structure or something else has come in and interfered with this beautiful dynamic connection and relationship between me and the other. And so I think one of the things that Sacha Stone says, which is beautiful, is he calls people my beloved. My beloved is the other person who is in front of me, and we see each other now. We can namaste together right now. That's my beloved. My beloved is the one in front of me right now. And that has been my experience without doubt, without any exception. And as I say, the exception is actually when there is this other structure at play. It's not when I'm connecting to the other person as a human being, you know, with normal human appetites, with normal human desires and connections. We don't combat each other. We complement each other. We support each other. We're so loving and so beautiful as beings together. It's amazing. And so this programming, this other thing that comes in and dominates our way of being, and trauma is one of the ways that this other way infiltrates the way that we are, isn't it?
Yeah,
trauma opens that door.
I just want to pick up on this here at this point, because recently I've been listening to satanic abuse survivals, and one of the famous ones is Kathy O'Brien. Is that, have I got her name correct?
Kathy O'Brien, amazing woman.
And she talks about how she was programmed, and that you subject somebody to an absolutely unbelievable, torturous experience.
Yeah.
That you traumatize them. And that the experience is so intense that in order to deal with it, that a part of the mind has to split off and you put it away.
Yeah.
So that you have no connection to that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to go on living if you were feeling that pain.
The pain would be so intense, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. So this is what happens in trauma. This is how the nervous system happens, is that if we're under threat, we go into fight or flight. If we can't escape something, then we go into parasympathetic shock, and we shut down and we become helpless and limp. and then we dissociate, we numb out, and we become dissociative. It's there as a way of protecting and a survival in the absolute last instance.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy O'Brien was saying that the satanic cults, they're not just doing this by accident. They are, and she was working as part of the satanic thing when she was a victim, working in the organization that's in America, where they, I think it was linked to the Vatican, I'm not sure, where they accrue all the information about how to traumatize people, and that everything that's happened from the beginning of time over the last several thousand years of ways of effectively traumatizing people. So that they're ongoingly researching, and she says now they've got even more sophisticated technological means of traumatizing people. So this is how they do satanic mind control, and there's been specifically this program MK Ultra that I think was developed when I think it was 600 Nazis at the end of the Second World War was taken in to America, and then they started developing mind control techniques there as part of the CIA or something like that. So excuse me for not having accurately all the details, but the concept, the overall thing is accurate. And if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see all those videos I've been posting. So she goes on to say that this is not just for individuals that they've picked up to mind control in order to do the terrible things that they're doing in paedophilia and so on, and drug cocaine running and
all the trafficking, all of the trafficking.
All the human trafficking, that's how they do all the human trafficking. But it's being used on populations. And at this moment in time, our government is under the direction of SAGE, which is the behavioral insights team that tells our government, instructs our government in what to do in order to make us more fearful and to go along with the program.
Yeah, because they know the more we're in fear, the less control we've got, the less of our thinking mind is available.
Absolutely, because that's important. So when we're in this highly activated state, fight or flight or parasympathetic shock, the cognitive brain disconnects. You're still having thoughts, but the thoughts are, they often circular and intense. That it's not rational cognitive thinking where you're examining. It's not critical thinking where you're examining what's happening and coming to a decision. It's just intense circular thoughts. And she also described that in her early teens, she went through this satanic ritual, which was called the, what's it called? The Rite of Peace. It was just after her confirmation. It was the Rite of, or was it the Rites of Silence? I think it was called the Rites of Silence. And after she went through that blood ritual, it's like all thoughts in her brain completely stopped at that point in time. And that her controllers, the person, because she had somebody training, doing the mind control on her, the trainer systematically fragmented her mind into quite a lot of pieces, that she was many sub-personalities, so that she had no access to these different things that was happening to her. And then it was only through they embedded in her mind a set of responses to signals. It could be a color, a word, a sound, that when they made those signals, then that part of the mind then came in, and that's that personality came in. So very sophisticated programming techniques. Well, these same techniques are being rolled out on us by our government.
Yes. Not
just our government, but globally.
The world.
Elite are rolling this out on the world's populations.
Yes. Well, it's only the puppet level of government that looks like it's different countries, isn't it? The pyramid above the actual government faces, the puppets, if you like. The pyramid above that, it's the same group. There's no left wing, right wing. There's no blue and red. There's no left and right. There's one controlling mechanism with these supposedly divisive structures underneath that we then become one of the red gang or the one of the blue gang.
Yeah. So that their wars, for instance, are supported simultaneously, created the two sides of the war are created by the elite, by the controllers.
Top of the pyramid.
The same way as different parties in a political situation are controlled by the same. It's just divided.
I worked for the civil service. For my very first professional job was for the civil service. The civil servants pay no attention to politicians because they come and go. Every 4 years, there's a new set. There's a new set. You don't change your work when you get a new government in. As a civil servant, I did the same job when the government changed. It didn't make any difference because I'm not working for them. I'm working for some unchanging organisation above, way above those.
So with regards to the mind control that's been rolled out now, first of all, it was like through every media channel is blasted this signal of danger, danger.
Yes. On the bus and on the tube, constantly, the message is coming constantly. It used to be see it, say it, sorted. And now it's become stay safe. So I don't even know what the language is because I go into it. I don't want to know what it is. Don't want to know what exactly. I don't want to know because I'm already programmed and I'm conscious that the program's there, but it's the programming is so well, as you say, Juliet, they've tried and tested this. This works in a phenomenally powerful way. So even when we're conscious, we still have remnants of programs that come through us. It's so difficult to stay completely conscious, completely present, and that is actually the healing, isn't it? Is the more we can stay conscious, the more we can come to presence. That's where we can begin to heal our own wounding from the programming or the wounding that's allowed the programming in the first place.
Absolutely. So start looking out for the programming. When you start to see the programming, then the myths begin to dissolve away. And then you realize what's going on because it's all put in place to make you think it's normal for a complete stranger to come and inject lethal toxins into your body that's going to kill you or change your DNA. I mean, how crazy, how insane is that? And I've said it before, how insane. But when you begin to recognize the programming, the programming words, the programming sounds, the programming images, you can see them flashing up all over the place. And you go into a supermarket. I mean, it's not so much now, but everything was taped off that you had to walk this way and that way and keep this distance.
It keeps the rebel in me very happy and amused because I love going in the wrong direction.
Well, me too.
Wrong way up a one-way street. I know I think you're more activist than I am. We've got another comment here, Julia. I've just looked, Juliet. We've got Elias, I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. And she says, for me, I'm feeling not to get in discussions about this. I somehow feel at peace with others' decisions, but my choice is different and it's hard, but she feels like this is a more loving way to do it. And you're absolutely right, Elias. It is hard. I think what's becoming more conscious of at the moment, because it's not my close circle of friends. I'm quite fortunate, but some of my close friends are being attacked by their own friends and family now because they don't want to follow the party line, because they don't want to follow.
Sorry,
we've just got a notice. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. So it is this how we stay sane and stay safe in the face of our own mother attacking us, or our own child, or our old best friend attacking us for our stance. That to me seems to be the need, the huge need at the moment is how can we be supported when we feel that it's our closest and dearest beloveds that are attacking us.
Absolutely. This is really, how can we maintain our sanity now? Because I don't think we can do anything to change those people that are not being able to see through the programming. We can't do anything about it, but it's very distressing to witness what's happening. It's hugely, I mean, it hurts my heart so much when
I know.
Witness it.
Yeah,
really
I think the advice that I'm giving people at the moment, Juliet, is about finding the tribes. Find your tribe that's on this level. find the groups, even if it's a Facebook group, even if it's a LinkedIn group or a YouTube channel. Start finding what it is that you do want to associate with. And also find the groups that not only associate with your current beliefs and paradigms that you want to associate with, but find groups that are looking for solutions and are not just fighting the fight. Yeah. So I saw an amazing video clip yesterday. I haven't watched it all, but it was, is it Rainer, the German...
Rainer, he was taking the second Nuremberg trials, taking the government to trial.
So he, alongside, who's our favourite lady, Dolores Cahill. So looking to these people who are real thought leaders, but their thoughts are to create what we do want, to sustain what is supporting us right now. And apparently the legal system, it's still possible for us to use the legal system to support what we want. And this is what Rainer's work is. And then how do we build the world that we do want, which is what Dolores is doing, where she's created Freedom Airways. So if you do want to travel and you don't want to follow all of these crazy mandates, how do you do it? So she's creating an opportunity for us to continue to do traveling if that's what we want to do. And Rainer's working really hard to see how to uphold the human rights that are in our highest good. So looking for the communities that are doing this good work and making associations with those communities and finding like-minded people in there, finding your tribe, I think is so, so important right now. It's easy to get swallowed up, isn't it, Juliet, in all of the trauma and the drama and the fear. It's really quite easy, and the fighting.
Then you get sucked down this trauma spiral. It's that you have to maintain sanity, even if it means not. I mean, the first thing is stop looking at the television, stop looking at the mainstream media. But then if you find yourself still distressed, you don't have to be engaged in the battle. It's like be engaged in the creative process, because there are many people needed. We're going through, it's a bit like we're in a pressure cooker, and there's an incredible, I couldn't say that word, incredible evolutionary process happening, this incredible shift in consciousness at this point in time. And if we can dedicate ourselves to that, on our own self-healing, our self-worth, our finding the power within ourselves, that we're unique divine beings, and that each one of us has got this incredible gift, that we didn't come here by chance on planet Earth at this point in time. We have incarnated for a purpose, and we have a gift. Each one of us has a gift that's really important for us to bring forward at this point in time. And the question is, are you going to be crushed, or are you going to go within and really connect in to the amazing being that you are and bring this forward for the evolutionary change that's happening? Because you, with this gift, can make a huge difference to what happens on planet Earth. And this is your time. This is truly your time now to step up, do the work you need to do for yourself, and create the changes that are needed on the planet now. Incredible things. I mean, there's incredible grassroots movement with millions of people engaged in it at this point in time. So this is your opportunity.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. It's really beautiful. And it I wrote a chapter in a book a couple of years ago, and it's called Oozing Juicy Joy. And that's what I think I'm here to do. So it's, what would you say would be your understanding right now, Juliet, of your purpose or your passion here on the planet right now?
Oh gosh, I need to come to one of your trainings. We worked on this before. What was that? So
feel into it, and the words will just appear in your mind. What's the feeling?
Well, I guess I've created this soul-soothing sanctuary at Healing Waters. It's about community. It's really inspiring. It's supporting people in safe relationship and community, and to really feel the love and the connection. And for me, it's like sitting in, I mean, a huge part of my own healing, because I had this massive attachment wound and damaged relationship. So it's about really coming into relationship with myself deeply, feeling secure with myself, and being able to hold space for others. So it's about holding sacred space, creating sacred space.
Beautiful.
And that's what I do with my trainings, the trauma skills trainings, my one-to-one therapy. It's about everyone here has a right to be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change anyone into anything else. And I give myself the space to be exactly who I am. And if I catch myself trying to please somebody, being a people pleaser or not speaking up because I'm too frightened, then, you know, just having some compassion for myself in that place, because that's where the wounding is still happening.
Yeah.
Where it's too scary to be myself.
We've got a really nice comment from Jack as well. Jack saying, we are eternal, immortal beings having a brief 3D experience, and nothing can harm us unless we choose it. So that's really nice. Let me just have a look and see if there's any. Oh, no, I can't see any other comments. Oh, so it's after 6.
Yes, we should stop after 6, and I've got another call as well, and so we're all hard at it. So please contact us if you need any support, any help, or any information, anything that we can share with you to support this movement. And I really welcome meeting any one of you, and what can we co-create? What can we do?
And if you need a break, you've got a space in Glastonbury. Juliet has the most beautiful sanctuary in Glastonbury. So if you need a break, come and get a hug. There's no checking up on your ID. We won't be asking for passports of any kind. Come and get a hug and get the space and the clarity that you need to give you the power that you need to carry on in the way that you want to. Yeah, I would suggest everybody spend some time in that beautiful healing water space that Juliet's created in Glastonbury. It's just stunning, gorgeous place.
Yeah, and if you want to step up your activism to another level in a non-confrontational way, if you want to understand how the nervous system works and how to really help soothe other people and help empower other people, then this is what my training is doing as well.
Yeah, very powerful training. Very, very powerful training. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for the invitation to come and share this amazing time with you, Julia. I love it. Love it. Love to be able to share what we co-create together with everybody who's watching.
Yeah, lots of love to everyone, and speak to you all again soon.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.